Sorry guys for the way the video is being presented. I kept having issues with exporting the video on Clipchamp, so I thought the best course of action was to do it this way. After having to spend 5 hours of editing, I wasn't going to go through all that just to have it not work on export. So thanks again for watching. Back to the video. Hey guys, and welcome back to the series. Hope everyone is having a good day. Today, after loading up the world, I decided to make Jinwoo expand out more to make bedrooms for the colony. I wasn't sure how to set it up at the time, so I opted on making a 3x4 bedroom for each colonist. Don't mind it looking like a 5x4 room, we will change that later on to save on space. While everyone was sleeping, I named our berry maker to Foodboy, since he's our main source of those sweet delectable berries. The next morning we got to slowly mining out the new rooms. So here's just a quick look at the daily task of Jinwoo. Next thing I know, Snip contracts a minor flu, leaving me with no other option than to have Jinwoo use our only 2 Glitterworld medicine on her, or risk having to lose her this early in the game due to the lack of any herbal medicine around. Already starting to regret my choice on bringing in Snip into the colony after the many problems she keeps bringing to the tribe. As the legendary Jinwoo is mining, we get a new event of a random wanderer named Thorn is asking to join the colony. I decide to postpone till I can finish making this bedroom due to not wanting everyone sleeping in the same room. Giving the barracks debuff to everyone, with the job done we can start on working. On checking the new wanderer, I decide to allow them since it doesn't hurt to see what they got, and the second I get a look at the stats, they have high cooking, mining, and lastly animals. Not a bad colonist to have for primarily the cook job and mining job fulfilled, so Jinwoo has less things to worry about. I keep forgetting about Jinwoo's ability to give work speed, so I give Thorn a burst of speed to see the mad woman go when it comes to digging rocks. And what can I say, that plus 10 mining is making her look like she is a mole rat in nature. Now with Jinwoo getting the first bedroom, I set out the plans to set up the second room for Snip. Since we run a hierarchy in this colony, the first members get it all before the newer ones. After some time, Randy finally sends me a raid by the name of Shotgun Toads to test out my new members. I command Jinwoo to set up the trap we have in storage to make the job of killing the raiders faster. I then command Thorn to stand by the door to be bait, so the raider is incentive to kill her and set off the trap. Another true victory for the spike trap. Not gonna lie, our hovel cave home is starting to come along, so I decide to start making a dedicated storage room since we have been just throwing stuff on the ground like uncultured lunatics, to be honest. Thanks to Thorn, our mining efforts of expanding our home have tripled compared to if Jinwoo was to do it, which would have taken a week. We then get a quest to save Marina, but ain't nobody got time for that, so we forget about it. With our daily activities consisting on pruning the tree to mining and researching, not much goes on for a while. In the meantime, I set Thorn to carve out a new ritual room so we can start having a sanctum of the great shadow monarchs to worship. I make sure to set the grand altar and relocate the lectern so all rituals are 100% chance. Later that day, Jinwoo goes into another daze. This man's mental state is on the brink of madness with all the problems we keep facing. I honestly don't know how long we can keep this up. While Jinwoo was still in a daze, Snip finished the smelting research and got her to do some beer brewing study, hoping that alcohol will solve all our tribe's mental problem with a simple solution of becoming alcoholics. A new day, a new problem. Randy sends us transport crash with someone named Stewart. I check their stats, they are trash, just another bad colonist to be fed to the vast dunes we call home. Few hours later, I set up a backdoor entrance so we aren't trapped like rats if we get cornered by a frontal raid. I make Jinwoo start setting up an extra dryad tree for future use. The great Snip blesses us again with finishing complex clothing, so I set her up to learn Devil Strand mushroom planting. Out of nowhere, Randy sends a low psychic wave, leaving my female colonist with a mood debuff. 1 minute later, not too long from that, he also sends me free cows. Things with Randy are truly random. With this man who knows what goes on in Randy's expansive mind, we will never know. I next get a notification from Zorby wanting me to take care of a guest named Gray. Once having a look at the offers, I deemed the tornado generator the best option, so Gray magically falls out of the sky unable to move, so I make Thorn haul him over to his new guest room for maximum comfort. It also dawned on me that the man has a debuff on him not letting him move at all. It's not like it matters right now. Of course Randy sends me a self-tamed iguana after the whole debacle of having wild ones steal my food. After all that, a manhunter pack raid of 2 guinea pigs attack me. Some of the most ferocious animals I have seen. Having to send Jean Wu and Snip to gun them down, but just my luck. They both have horrible aiming, leading to them entering melee range. As Jean Wu acting like bait, I send Thorn, our only melee unit, in to solve the issue. But these guinea pigs are no joke, scratching Snip and Jean Wu, leaving open wounds on both. Man, my colonists really suck at shooting. And with that we win the battle. Not so long after that, a royal is asking me to take care of a toxalope for them. Seeing my option, I see a really good one for 13 Glitterworld meds. Talk about a good deal. I postpone it till it's morning, then I take the deal, making a shuttle drop off their unconscious toxalope at my front door. Snip is truly a mad genius, finishing the Devil Strand research in record time, letting us now study complex clothing, allowing us to dress for success. And just like that, Thorn goes off on insult spree after having seen one-to-many corpse. In hindsight, I probably should have gotten rid of those corpses in front of our home to not have that issue arise in the future. Now we have Thorn making everyone get a high negative mood debuff, with insults being hurled one after another at everyone. Man, today is not my day, as Jean Wu has had enough and starts brawling it out with Thorn after she called him a mama's boy. I then notice our food supply is running low and come to the final decision that the male cow has to go to help feed everyone, as well as one less mouth to feed. But then Randy decides to give me a fox, then putting me in the same conundrum of having to feed another mouth. He sure does like to torture me, doesn't he? Randy sure likes to torture me with these out-of-the-blue scenarios of getting another mouth to feed after killing another animal. I then decide, screw it, the fox is becoming our next meal. What, not a surprise, Jean Wu has another mental breakdown of days, all due to Thorn calling him a mama's boy. Some people just can't handle the pressure. Out of nowhere, a wild pig woman starts attacking our iguana for a meal. At the moment I think to myself and say, let them duke it out, survival of the fittest for him. If he dies, one less mouth to feed, if not, it is what it is. It almost feels like I'm watching a Pokemon battle in Rimworld from this angle. In the end, the wild pig woman won the fight and the iguana died, though in a way they both lost, since not too long she will bleed out from all those bites she took. And thus ends the great iguana fight of year 5500. With complex furniture done, we get our way to learning. Passive cooler to help with that extreme heat. To help stop the rise of constant dead bodies near the base, we start making graves for all those bodies, since they take way too long to decompose. A random man named Beckon decides to crash land on my property, so I choose to steal his clothing and leave him to die. I forgot to mention the female cow gave birth to a calf and decided to release it into the wild to fend for itself, so I don't have another mouth to feed. Let nature take its course, I say. We haven't done this in a while, but since food is running low, we do another ritual for that sweet free chicken nuggies. Then see that we got a lot more chickens than I can handle to slaughter. A lot of time passes by with not much of anything really happening other than the filthy state our house is in and the chickens we slowly kill. I can already taste those sweet chicken nuggies for lunch, as Thorn butchers them. On December 2nd, I plan out the next stage of setting up flooring and metal shelves to store the goods in an organized state instead of laying them on a floor. A cargo pod then falls from the sky, blessing us with even more steel. It's not like I already have a crap ton already at base, Randy just gives me more. Then Cooler Tech is done researching. While I set everyone to set new flooring, I queue up the next project to be Pemmican Study. I soon start new renovations to set up a new room expansion for our storage room. Just on cue, another Snip-related disaster happens, obtaining dark visions. She sure has been making deals with some old gods from the way she keeps getting void-related mental breakdowns. It almost feels like Snip's past is starting to creep up on us, since a wild dryad goes berserk, along with a psychic agony affecting some colonist. Here is a quick vid on how the fight went down. Snip is just a double-edged sword, finishing research like she is on Flake, but at the same time cause mental problems to the colony. Surprising me, the next ritual we do grants us enough points to reform our ideology. A peaceful day soon turns into a violent one, once Ryan of the Choke Trash Tribes attacks us. I ready everyone up for this battle. Now that the shooters are in positions, I make Thorn act like a decoy for the raider to attack, since the AI isn't too smart in a 3-on-1. Right as he's about to go down, the bastard gets a clean hit off my Berry Maker Dryad, making him bleed. He has now committed the ultimate sin of hurting our beloved Dryad, so as punishment we will leave him to die slowly and painfully. The game likes to test me sometimes, especially with weather giving me a random cold snap, which will soon play a darker role later on in the story. We do another tree connection ritual at night for Jin Woo, so we can now have woodmakers in the tribe to utilize later on. You guys remember when I said the cold snap will soon later come to screw us up? Now is that time. I get alert someone is getting hypothermia, and who other than our random guest colonist we completely forgot about. Dude's freezing to death while we are just chilling. I then get this stupid idea to put him in a geyser hot room, since I have no way of heating my cave home without wood or power. I soon realize that the roof on the hut is not done, since it's only 2 Celsius inside and he's still getting frostbitten inside. So I finish the roof, and then now I have the issue of the room hitting 150 Celsius inside, causing heat strokes now. Sorry to say, but this man ain't making it out alive. With the constant temps changing for him, he soon gets a disease on his foot. Due to the lack of medicine, I postpone him on getting treatment. Just when things can't get any worse, Jin Woo decides to hide inside his room. Amidst all the chaos, Snip finishes Psychoid Brewing, letting us learn the recurve bow next. No surprise here, our guest ends up dying due to a foot illness, making us lose rep and the reward we chose for this quest. One bad decision after another has honestly led me to this outcome. To finish off the episode, here is a random event of dozens of guinea pigs migrating off my base. What a truly wonderful sight to behold. Okay guys, thanks for watching today's video. It means a lot to me for those who have stuck around till the end. Feel free to comment, like and subscribe at Mr. Retrobred to get more content like this in the future. That's all for now, have a good one.